Good evening. Welcome to After the Buzzer. Strange one tonight. It's just me here. And I wanted to go into the background of why we decided in Exeter District to start the podcast, um, as you've well named it, After the Buzzer. The background to the podcast, the backstory, if you like, to why we're at this point today is the Southwest isn't a hotbed for basketball. Um, it's not seen as a hotbed for basketball. We've we're involved. Basketball is the most played indoor sport in the UK. It's the second most played sport in the 10 to 17-year-old age group in the UK. And yet here in the Southwest, we struggle for hall time, sports hall time. In Exeter and District, we don't have a forecourt venue. Um, Most teams are scratching around for school gyms, for want of a better term, although they're obviously now sports halls, but they're still scratching around to get that. My own team, I struggle week to week, very little training availability, literally to secure a court just so they can play their games. Um, and yet in the Southwest, we're punching above our weight. And that's the reason I wanted to start this podcast. Um, we've got players from the Southwest that go on to fantastic levels of playing. We've got coaches and officials that have started playing in the Southwest in Exeter and District. They go on to become National League referees, BBL back then, SBL maybe in the future referees, featured on TV, national finals. You'll hear from Darren Bolt at a different time, FIBA commissioner, traveling Europe. He was a player from our area. He's a referee still today in Exeter and District League. One of our most experienced and respected referees. But he's not alone. We've got coaches. You've heard from Troy already. Troy, you know, England coach, is now coaching over in Germany. Jack Adams, who's up at Reading Rockets. To say they've come from the Southwest and what they've turned into, I think demonstrates, and this is the reason all these people are coming on and want to tell you their backstory. It shows what can happen once basketball envelopes your life, and it will. It's all encompassing. Once it takes over your life, there's options out there for you. There's options that can become careers and yeah, be your profession, if you like, long term. And I think it's good to put those stories out. Um, but not only that, it's not just the individuals I want here. Some of the characters behind clubs, they'll come here and talk about their clubs, their teams. Torbay Tiger, I don't like to name individuals. Torbay Tigers, um, formed 53 years ago, something like that, by the eminent, Rick Waldridge, Norman Waldron, England coaches, that came down with teachers at Churston Grammar, formed Torbay Tigers. It all has its peaks and troughs, and I'm sure we'll hear about that when they come on to talk about it. But on the up again, providing basketball for the community, providing basketball for who wants to play in this community, regardless of your skills. All right. Um, Other clubs, Tiverton Titans. Tiverton Titans only formed. I'll wait until they tell you the backstory, but about 5 years ago. Um, they've got a solid foundation there. those early years are very difficult to keep individuals involved. And yet, 4, 5 years down the line, they're winning Division Two. They've going forward two teams, or at least two teams in the local league. The structure's all there. Spartan Nomads or Exeter Spartans, whichever way you want to look at it, local league sides, national league sides. They had really good National League girls teams I want to say under 16s, might have been under 18s. But unfortunately, because we're not this hotbed of, great facilities, some of these players go away. Some of these players move on to bigger clubs outside the area, but they're created right here in the Southwest. Our league, you know, the Exeter and District League, there's obviously other leagues in the Southwest, but we're quite proud of how many years we've been running. We're proud that we're an amateur league, but we're professional. All right, it's organized well. We have 250, 300 games per year, 400 plus players involved, 40 plus officials. Um, it's a well-run, well-respected league, and that, I say well-respected. You hear it from other people involved, and from our league, other leagues are formed. So you've got Dorset League. Alex Furman, Chris Canham, Craig, sorry, great friends of, I'd like to call them friends of mine, playing in Exeter and District League first because Dorset didn't have a league. Eventually, they folded off, formed their own league, and they've got the same sort of league set up there, same sort of numbers. So, all created, I'd like to say, from the Southwest, but of course, you need these individuals that are involved in it. Our women's league, we've been running a ladies' league for decades, absolute decades. It was the only one in the Southwest. Now, Plymouth have got one. Great. More games for the ladies, and women in basketball. It's absolutely brilliant. We develop referees. Our development of referees, I'm really chuffed with what we can do to develop referees. We had 20 plus new referees last year. They're not all going to stay with us. If we get 6 to 10 who stay here, brilliantly. Brilliant. But we've got referees from Exeter University that are coming online, spending 2, 3 years with us, gaining great experience, and then moving off to other areas, whether home or abroad. Pedro's off in Portugal now. He's officiating there. There's someone who wouldn't have been a referee if we didn't put him forward. And the benefits these individuals are getting from qualifying the referees. And I'm sure you'll hear that when people come on to give their backstory. We do 3PO, so three-person officiating in Exeter and District League. I challenge many local leagues out there. Who offers that? We offer it because it's development for our referees. Provides a better game, helps those referees make that step into National League and, further up that chain. All right. So we're really pleased about that. We had our first all female officiating team, floor and table, in this last season. I hate to say it, it wouldn't have been looked at a few years back, but we're chuffed to bits. The amount of ladies we got through officiating this year, trained, being mentored and involved, and there's more still to come online for next season. We're very pleased about it. Basketball is the most inclusive game in the UK, probably worldwide. It's a multicultural game. 23% of our players or our members consider themselves non-white British. If you compare that to the population, the area we play basketball in, I think it's just under 4%. So you got 23%. So I would say we're the most inclusive going. So this is all about the podcast is all about spreading the message of Exeter and District. We want players coming into the game knowing there's other places they can go if they want to. If they don't want to be a player, there's officiating, there's coaching, there's volunteers. Um, you know, there's don't get me wrong, they want to carry on playing, great. They're the bedrock of our league, players. We need as many as possible. And with quantity comes quality. Um, my dear friend Roy Parslow, bless him, he used to, he reiterated many times, the bigger the base of that pyramid, the higher that pyramid goes. The more people we can get playing at ground level, at that ground floor level, the grassroots level of basketball, the higher that pinnacle is, which can only be good for English, UK, British basketball, and definitely for the local league. I'm really, sorry, not I am. I've been really pleased um, by the amount of individuals that have contacted me asking to be part of After the Buzzer. They want to provide their backstory. They want to tell you about their journey, what's happened, some advice. We can go here, we can go there. These are the issues I've had. These are my embarrassing moments, all things like that. It's really nice to hear it from these individuals, and I've been really pleased with the number of messages I've got. So I'll reiterate, if you want your story told, you don't have to have gone on to do anything out of this world, all right? But if you want to come on here and you want to tell your story, After the Buzz is the place to do it, and we can sit down and have a chat. And going forwards, there will be some chats between four or more people, um, chewing the cud about what's happened with UK basketball, where we're going, and how things can be better. All right. But from me, Chair of Exeter and District Basketball, After the Buzzer is there for you to listen to and for you to get involved in. And we'd welcome to hear your story. Thank you.